Welcome. My name is Jan Malmgren. I'm a photographer, ecologist and writer, and if you're new here, this channel is devoted to any kind of photography, but especially perhaps digital medium format photography. I use a Fujifilm GFX 100 Mark II, and today is quite an overcast day. It's quite chilly, and today I'm thinking about fetching some long exposures of water and also perhaps some of the autumn colors or perhaps some intimate details of this autumn landscape. So I hope you'll join me for a few minutes, and we'll see what kind of images we can come up with. Some of you who are following me on this channel have asked me to explain a bit about my thought process from the beginning of an image to the end of an image. So I thought this episode would be a good example of showing you how I think about my photography, and also about how I prepare for going out in the field. So today I looked out the window this morning, and I had been hoping for a bit of a sunshine anyway, so that I could catch some of the autumn colors. Autumn colors come out very nicely also when it's overcast, because then it's not that saturated, or the contrasts are not that sharp. So you can catch more of sort of saying the dynamic range of the landscape. But overcast days like this is great for long exposure water photography. So my thought process today was, okay, let's see if I can go out somewhere along the water here at Lake Vänern and catch some details in the water using my 10-stop ND filter and really smoothing out all the waves so there's no trace left of any water movement. You know, it's almost like a mist. And then some contrast details, and also process it in post editing in black and white, because these kind of long exposure water photographs are really great in black and white. So that's how I prepared. I have loaded my backpack, so join me and we'll go out this pasture and see where we can get some water. Today is about 7 degrees Celsius, so you have to dress properly to be outside, even if it's not that windy today. It's the middle and end of October, so soon enough winter will be here, and I actually look forward to doing a bit of snow photography too, but it can be really cold here in Scandinavia, so we'll see how this winter will develop. Okay. I think this is a really good place, so I think we'll start out here. So this is what I see when I come to a place like this. It's a small bay here at Lake Vänern, and there's a lot of reeds and also these cliffs that go out in the water. So when I arrive at a place like this, I look around, try to find interesting details, and you know, you see now with a wide-angle lens approximately what I plan to shoot when I bring out the big camera. So this cliff here is quite prominent. Over there are some small sections of reeds, and I plan to isolate them in the frame not bringing anything in the background, and those reeds will stand out very contrastly. And also I think this little cliff is pointing towards that little island out there. And of course, if you look at that side, you have some reeds, and then there's that little tongue of forest that goes out into the water. And there are some beautiful mosses here too. Cows have been grazing here, so it's a bit trampled here, but we'll try to shoot low, and then those sections will not show up that clearly. So that's my thought process this far. And then of course, when I bring out the camera and try to set up the photos, of course I make different decisions, and perhaps this is not the best angle, but you have to be open-minded and try and test and see what you come up with. But now it's time to bring out the camera. So what I'll usually do now when I have the camera with the lens mounted is just, I had this pre-visualization of what I wanted to shoot, and now I can look just handheld in the camera to see how I can frame this in the best way possible. So I will begin with just setting the wide angle zoom to 20 millimeters, and of course try to see how I can get a good angle here. I'll see that if I'm not to clip anything in this grayish clouds here, I'm at 1/10 of a second, f11 ISO 80. Just see where we are in the exposure. The sky is about 2 stops overexposed in relation to the cliffs here in the foreground. But since we are going for a 10-stop ND filter, trying to smooth everything out here, then that will be no problem, because I aim to make this very, very contrasty. Everything will be black and white, and the sky and almost all of the lake here will be whitish or grayish perhaps. So okay, so I have this framing, and I will set up the camera on the tripod, see where we can go from there. I have set up the camera on the tripod, and I will use the cliff here that is protruding out into the water just to do some tests. So as you see here now, the display is showing some clipping in the highlights here, but since we are going for a very contrasty, milky black and white sort of composition, that won't matter that much. What is important though is that the camera is level. So otherwise later in post you have to adjust the horizon and everything like that. So I'll try to avoid that as much as possible. But here's what we do. We try to just adjust the tripod, the geared head. And you see that the green line there is showing that it's all level. And I will just remove all this information in the display first. And you just use the display back button to take away all the info on the display there. And one thing to take note of is I haven't positioned the camera that much to the left yet, but you can see those few reeds sticking up out of the water just at the edge of the frame there. Perhaps I will change that in a later composition, but this is quite a nice composition because of the, if you can see it, the cliff here is separate from the shadows of the reeds, and also the shadows of the reeds and the cliffs is almost supporting each other, making this quite a balanced composition. Of course, there are no objects in this section of the frame, but we'll make do with what we have. And actually also you can see that the small island over there, it has quite an interesting shadow in the water, separated with a band of white, and that's because just a bit out here in the bay it's quite windy, so there are more waves there, whereas it's more sort of still here in closer to where I sit at the bay. But if we just take a test frame here, we'll just see what comes out of it. We can go to play, and there's the composition. I'm using back button focusing, and now it's set to around there. I will go a bit closer to me, actually, somewhere around there, I think, because I think this it's more important to have the foreground in focus instead of the background here. So we'll take another test shot. Yep, and you see I didn't use a 2-second timer now because I'm not using that long shutter speed. If we look at it now, you can see it. It's nicely framed up. We can zoom in, check for focus. Of course, looks nice and sharp in all the details, especially this beautiful moss here against the gray stone here at the cliff. Yeah, it's quite nice. But you know, this area here is not that nice in this shot. You know, it's trampled by the cattle, and you could of course wish that there would be a lot more grass instead, but can't have it all. So there we go. I think it's time now to bring out the ND filters. One thing that is very important when you're doing long exposures is making sure that the front lens and the filters are clean and not with any dust specks or anything, because when you're doing long exposures, everything, also spots on the sensors, is very visible, so you have to do a lot of cleaning in post if you're not careful when you're doing it, when you're setting it up in the field. So now I have this 10-stop filter placed in front of the lens, and you can see that everything gets really dark. But fortunately, there's a thing in most digital cameras today, of course, and that is to simulate the exposure that you will have. And I have this set up in the menu at the My Menu settings. You can choose what you want to use there. So it's in this case it's exposure and white balance preview is set on here. You can choose you to have a preview on or off in this setting. And now I'm at ISO 80 f11. I'm at 1/8 of a second. I can bring out the info here on the display again, and also on this GFX 100 Mark II, you have the shutter speed, or I have the shutter speed set to this wheel here. I have the lens set at C, which means that I can control the shutter speed and ISO and everything with these wheels on the camera. So I'm just going for a longer exposure now. And also I set it on a 2-second timer. So we'll try this at ISO 200. I have it set to f11, and we're going for 60-second exposure. And I will of course make this shorter in the video in editing. So here we go. And this is the result from this first exposure. So I've set up for another shot here, going much closer to the edge of this cliff here, and also bringing in some of the other cliffs protruding out into the water. here too. Let's see how that turns out. I'll just move a bit closer still here to the water. If you want to bring things really close here, which is quite half the purpose when you're using a really wide-angle lens. And actually I will do this vertical shot here too. I think that will be quite nice for this one. And this is the really good thing about using an L bracket. It's quite easy to just reposition the camera. Just to look at how much of the foreground I want to keep in camera. Something like that. I'll lock it in place. And now we can adjust for the small movements here with the geared head. Yeah, something like that, I think. And I will set the focus quite close. Then I have the 2-second timer, so I'll go for the shot now. And of course, not touching anything while the camera is working. With Fujifilm cameras and most of any other cameras too, there's this function when you're doing long exposures to have a noise reduction automatically in place when you have done the exposure. But that also means that if you're doing a 60-second or 30-second exposure, then after the exposure it will go into the noise reduction mode, and that will take just about as long as the exposure itself. So it will be, if you're doing a 60-second exposure, it will work with the noise reduction for 60 more seconds after the exposure. So it all depends on how patient you are. But I find that the noise reduction in these cameras are really, really good when you do it in camera. But of course, if you're into that, you can use noise reduction tools in Lightroom or any other kind of specialized software if you want to. So now it's ready or finished and looks like that. So when I'm out in the field, I usually take a lot of different exposures, but a lot for me is like 10 or perhaps 20 frames, because that's part of the joy with trying to get everything right in camera. I try to be sort of not wasteful with trying to get as many frames as possible, because I know from experience the time it takes when you get home to the computer to sit and sort among a lot of different photos. So I try to set it up closely, slowly, intentfully, and try to get it right in the camera straight away. Doing long exposures is also quite rewarding if you are out looking for stillness and silence and just experiencing the sounds of nature. The sun is nearly setting and we have a really nice and warm light. So I will head back now to the pasture and get some autumn colors. I'm hoping to get some maple leaves or something like that. It's really nice, quite a symbol for autumn here in Sweden. Well, what do you think? From quite a grayish day to this evening sunlight during the sunset, it turned out to be quite a nice evening. Hopefully I've managed to do some long exposures down by the waterline, and also a few autumn color shots here in the pasture. So if you like this kind of content, this is what I do. I do photo walks, trying to share my knowledge and experience being a happy hobbyist photographer and also a semi-professional photographer some years back. So if you like it, please press subscribe if you haven't already, and click the bell icon so you will get all the updates I do when I post new material in the future. And also please give me a thumbs up. It means a lot to a small creator, a small channel like this one. It's when the autumn gets like this, you know, with the sunset, the warm colors. It was a grayish day and it turned out this nice. That's when you really appreciate being outdoors. And when this happens, it really doesn't matter if you get a whole memory card full of great images or not. It's just the experience of being outdoors that matters, really. This is very refreshing. I hope you liked it. Okay, all for now. See you in the next one. Bye-bye.